Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called 5 Feet Apart. Stella is a vibrant, fun loving 17-year-old. Unlike most teenagers, Stella has to spend much of her time living at a hospital as a cystic fibrosis patient. When Stella meets Will, a charming and rebellious fellow patient, she feels a powerful connection. But restrictions dictate that she and Will maintain a safe distance between them. As their feelings grow, Stella and Will face a life changing question. How does love feel when even a single touch is off limits? This is a 2019 film. It is rated PG-13. It runs about 2 hours. 116 minutes is what it's listed. And this stars the people on the front cover: Haley Lou Richardson and Cole Sprouse. There are some other people in this also. It's a pretty big cast considering it's in a hospital, and you have the nurses, and you have the families, and you have the friends. And so a couple recognizable people here and there, but these are the two leading characters. So this is 5 Feet Apart. Well, we got another one of these movies. There are a bunch of them, I tell you. Just one after another. It seems like we can't go a couple months without having something like this. But most of them are effective. This one is very emotional, especially when it comes to the end. I did find myself tearing up a little bit. It just, movies like this kind of get you. And if they do get you, then you know that they are effective. So I think that I'll start at the biggest issue here, and that is what this movie has in it. What this movie has in it is people who are struggling, but as long as they are taking their meds, as long as they are living each day, they have family around them, they have friends around them, like they have hope. Maybe not. They could go at any moment, but, I don't know. I just didn't feel like the urgency of, like, a movie where a girl, if she steps out into the sun, she's dead. That's it, That one was a little bit more, critical. This one, they were in the hospital, they were receiving care, they were around friends and family, they were able to explore as they kind of saw fit. Every time they left their room, nobody really said anything, so they could wander. It was just a little bit less critical of a situation. So it didn't have that intensity to it, but it does have some intense situations along the way. And it's still dramatic, but it doesn't present you with a problem immediately that says, oh, okay, well, this and this could happen. And it's kind of a surprise when things do happen. So it kind of works out for itself, really, by not being so intense at the beginning. It has intense things later. That kind of helps it because it's more of a surprise, really. And you're like, oh, where did that come from? So I think the dramaticness of the movie is very effective, less critical than others. That's point one. Point two is the whole romance part of this. It's not like the back of the sleeve where it says that immediately, she feels a connection. Immediately when they meet each other, they kind of don't like each other, and he comes off as kind of a strong male vibrato and very doom and gloom. And, that's not giving anything away because that's in the previews and everything. But which we saw a lot of, by the way, when this came out. I don't know why I didn't see it in theaters. Like I said, it was another one of its kind, and I just didn't want to spend my time in the theater watching it. But, so when they meet each other, it's not like a click thing. It's more of a very, he kind of works his way into getting to know her, maybe not being invited to do it. So a little creepy. And, it after they both kind of show that, they care for each other and surviving, and they start talking about how their disease is not meant to hold them back from being happy, then we get the movie and it gets rolling, and gets to be a little bit lighter and more enjoyable. Other than that, I think this movie is a pretty slow crawler. It doesn't have too much happen. It doesn't have too much really important talking. It has some bigger things, but it doesn't really have to do with anything, and we don't get any introduction to other characters, even though they're talking about them. We don't get, maybe a backstory on this person because they're talking about their past the whole time. So they do leave a couple things out here and there. I think the last thing that makes it a little bit not much of a fun movie to watch is it does have a little bit of language here and there. It does have one scene that I think they could have skipped past, considering it's PG-13. They didn't need to show what they showed. They could have just, advanced, the scene and gone on to the next one. We kind of got the point, that the two stars are liking each other. We get that. We didn't need to see what happens by the pool. So anyways, I just kind of feel like this is one of those movies that knows it's PG-13, still puts out a couple things because it wants to be what it wants to be. It self-identifies, not trying to be anything else. It does have some dramatic times which make it for kind of a better movie at that time, but overall not consistently enough. It's a little funny, but not too funny. It's more our main character, female, excuse me, that just kind of comes on. And so anyways, wrap this up here, is that our main character, she's really happy, she's really bubbly, she does all this stuff that kind of makes things a little bit lighter lighter mood, and that is our enjoyment of the movie. It's not consistent, it's not like funny ha-ha kind of a movie. The ending is fine. They handled it emotionally, they handled it in the way that they thought in real life it kind of should be. They didn't think about the movie aspect or the movie audience, having things make sense or having them feel, satisfied at the end of the movie or anything like that. So, I'm fine with this movie. I think it's, comparing to others of its kind, I don't think it's consistent enough with anything, with the dramaticness or the comedy or anything. And it's just kind of hard. I was going to say something about how this movie is called 5 Feet Apart, and for the first almost half of the movie, they have this rule called being 6 feet apart. And they kind of explain why it goes from 6 feet to 5 feet, but I think it took way too long in the movie. I was just waiting for it. It was kind of getting on my nerves listening to the whole 6 feet apart. So I just would have preferred that earlier, but that's a small little tic-tac. Overall, it's an enjoyable movie. It's an okay movie to watch. I don't think it compares to some of the others of its category. So I'm going to give 5 Feet Apart a B. And I do think it's worth a watch. I do think it's worth seeking out. And, if you are okay with sickness and dying and all those heavy issues and very vivid talk about all of it, this movie encompasses it all. It's very honest. It's very raw. It's very much in a hospital, and people are talking hospital stuff. So it's very intense. People are on gurneys and stuff. It entails a lot of that. But if you're okay with watching a dramatic and kind of feel good, very serious, sick person movie, then, this is worth something, and it's worth a watch. So I can at least suggest it that way. I'm going to give 5 Feet Apart a B. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and get some of them watched. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.